if you are in the market for a $30 scan tool, the XTOOL Advancer AD20 is where you need to spend your money. First of all, I just want to say this right here. X2 have sent me some stuff in the past to make videos, but this here I bought myself, and they're not paying me to say anything about this, but I will say that this thing is awesome. The software is awesome. It has so many features, such as it can check bad driving habits. It can check your mileage. It's so many things. I got to say, we're just going to hop in the car and check it out. And I can compare this to the ODB Link MX Plus and the Blue Driver. These here cost about $100 each. This right here costs about $30 US. Out of the box, hands down, for $30, the way the software is laid out, what you get inside of the software, this thing here is incredible for that price point. So without, there's not much more to say here other than this is just what comes in the box. So we're just going to go ahead and jump in the car and check out the scan tool. All right, so we're here inside of the car, and well, this is, as soon as you get inside the car and plug it in, it will automatically do a quick test and let you know that your car is in good driving condition. So, and what happens is that you see at the top, it says Honda Advancer AD20 20 edition. What happens is that you have to register each of your cars with it, and what it doesn't mean anything other than the fact that, see, it keeps track of mileage, fuel consumption, and things like that, and it also keeps track of driving habits for that vehicle. So it's not limited to like one car, two cars, or whatever. It's just whatever cars. So let's just start straight from the top. It says quick test. Let's go ahead and hit quick test and see what happens here. And what will happen is that it will just basically go through all of the checks. This is basically really more or less just OBDII type stuff, and it will let you know if you have not done a battery check, have not done a smog check, and we can actually go back and do these things. That's what's cool about this software. I'm telling you, this for $25, I don't think you're going to find anything that has these features and the way that the app is laid out and how useful it is. And as you'll see, I'll show you some more useful stuff here. All right, so I guess that it says checking, and it has stalled here, so I'm not sure what. I think it's just probably. Let's see here, service offered by Advanced or Smart Diagnostics service here. I guess let's hit check now on a small check and see what happened. Maybe we go past these test preparation and parking mode, and the engine has not been started. Let's go ahead and start the engine up, because we're gonna look at some live data anyway. All right, and let it idle for 3 minutes and start testing. Well, I just drove the car a few minutes ago, so let's just hit OK, hit next. Let me see here. Current engine has not been started. Maybe it wants me to idle the car. Let me back out and do it again. Let's hit small check here and start testing. All right, there we go. So, and again, like the little cool animations, I know the animations doesn't really make this tool any better, but I do like the way that they just look. It's very cool. So you have all of these, things that let you know if you're ready for the state. Basically, in my state, if you just got one unchecked, it will let you pass in inspection, providing your safety has passed. And again, I just probably started the car. Well, I drove it like an hour ago, so maybe that's why these other things haven't been checked. But I just wanted to show you just how seamless this is. And then let's back out of this here. So now look, if you go down to in-depth check, let me show you something right quick before we click other things. Okay. Well, let's go to trouble scanning first. Hit check now. This should be very similar to what we just saw, because up top it says OBD fault check. So let's see. Yeah, this is the OBD stuff. And I think the other one that says quick check probably was finished. It probably wanted you to do those completed modules, and that's all that was. Now, one cool thing about this thing is that it actually has what you call an in-depth reading. And basically, what it does is that, let's back out of here. If you go to in-depth check, what it does is that you don't see it on the screen now, but when you get one, it'll show you that when you hit start checking, it'll actually download the actual OE module, data to check it. For example, like it's only going to do it for the engine, not for anything else, or any module associated with the engine. Because for example, when I done this in my Buick, it downloaded the engine control module, the fuel injector control module, and a few other modules as well. This one, it only downloads the engine module because probably everything is tied into the ECU and doesn't have different modules, but any module that's associated with the ECU would also be downloaded and show up here. All right, so next, over here where you see RPMs where they're fluctuating at, if you hit that little, can you see a little arrow right here? If you click that, you can get some extra little data there, like miles per hour or your coolant temperature, for example. Live data. All right, let's check this out. I think this is pretty amazing here. Again, a lot of this stuff is going to be seen on some other scan tools. I mean, I wouldn't call them scan tools. I call them OBDII code readers. But I like the way this is laid out here. This right here is probably give you the most basic stuff you need to see right here, right off, that you might be relevant to most stuff. And then if you click more sensor data, and you will see all of this data, all of these data pairs. You can even hit select all and hit next. And what it's doing is that you see this little line, what it's doing is just running through and it's just checking all of these right here. It's basically what I think is what's happening. It's just checking everything here. So some stuff is off the screen. It doesn't check it until you scroll down to it. Like for example, now you see these populating right here. As you go down, and that's understandable. I mean, this is a $25 scan tool. It's not going to probably be as fast or as a one that costs more. But just look at this. I mean, this is pretty amazing that you have all these data pairs here at your disposal. And I don't know if this has any grafting capabilities. I have not seen any grafting capabilities yet. So that's the only thing that if you're looking for a graph, maybe let me see here. Let me click that right there because it's not showing. It seemingly says that it's showing a graph. Under miles per hour, for example, you see the little that indicates that should be a graph. That's the only thing that I don't see yet is how to make a graph. And maybe that's something that will come. Let's just click one and see what happens. Fuel system status. Okay. All right. Okay, I guess it's just checking it. And that's what you see the blue arrow for. All right. So that's the live data. Go back here a little bit. Now, this is another cool feature here, the Smart Dash. So if you hit the Smart Dash, you can pick between these different dashboards to put on your phone. So then you can put your phone up here and use it as your heads-up display. They even got the simplest one at the bottom. And you might wonder, why would this be useful? Well, it could be useful for several reasons. For example, let's click the first one. Now, if you look at this, it actually has temperature, intake temperature, engine load, and things already on the screen. Maybe you might, for example, depending on your application, you might want to see these, for example, right? Another thing, say if your odometer doesn't work, not odometer, your whatever you call it, speed hand, you can tell your miles per hour from this. And another use case is that, say if you're a foreigner, you just moved to this country, you're used to kilometers per hour. Some cars, you can only see miles per hour and you might not know how to set it or something like that, but you can set this unit to the metric unit and then you can see kilometers right here. So then you can correlate what is this kilometers to miles per hour, and you can learn how to cross-reference those. So I think that's pretty awesome to be able to do that. All right, so that's the dashboard. Go back here. Now, when you're driving, it lets you know, I'm not driving at this moment, the car is running, but the current estimated fuel consumption, you can keep track of your miles by the month, by the week, and the fuel remaining in the tank, it lets you know. And again, when you're driving this thing, this fluctuates a little bit. I'm not sure why that does that. I think my mind is that is based on how hard you're hitting the gas or how fast you're going, it changes this number here. Now, as far as miles per hour, it doesn't update in real time. What happens is every time you turn the car off and cut it back on, I'm assuming that every time you, let me say that again. Every time you cut on the car, you can just leave the Bluetooth dongle in the car. You never have to take it out. It reads the odometer, then it just updates this. So it doesn't update it in real time, but say if you drive to work, get out the car, come back in, cut the car on, it will update the miles that you had drove to work that day. Trip data would probably, you would, I guess you had to set this up to see the trip data. So let's hit more. Let me show you something here. Now, if you hit, now watch this. It's loading. So each trip you have right here, I don't know, I guess it's just for some reason not updated on the front page, but it shows you, like I drove this trip this morning. I drove this second trip also this morning, right? But now watch this. If you click the little arrow over here to the right side, it will show you on which trip, like your driving habits. Like on this first trip, for example, I didn't have any driving behavior, negative driving behaviors, right? And it shows you top speed, average speed, and so on and so forth. All right. So, but now let's go to this one here, to the second one. And let's see here. Yeah, I simulated bad driving habits. So I had 3 sudden accelerations. I had 1 heavy brake. I did do a dangerous lane change, but I didn't do it that hard, so I guess it didn't capture. I also did a sharp turn, but again, what I did technically wasn't that dangerous, to be honest. So you probably have to do it way harder than what I did. But anyway, you can take each trip and you can analyze driving habits, top speed, and so on. So say if you have a teen driver and you just want to see how well they drive, you have them to install this app, put the thing in the car, and just every time they come home, you just take a look at the app and just see what they've been doing, for example. Or you can do it for yourself. All right, so then down here at the bottom is a home page, my info. That's pretty straightforward. Application center here, you can go through all these different, you can go through different things here. For example, they have a thing called a component test. They're just saying don't worry about that. They're just saying that being a ventilated area. The garage is open. So let's do the throttle carbon buildup test. This is pretty cool. So if you hit enter, we're going to hit start testing. And next and next. The test is in progress, and it'll let you know you have buildup on the throttle body. So I don't know how it's tested it, but in the end, it will give you a visual to show you that, hey, do you have a little bit? Do you have a lot? Are you in a normal range? And it gives you some, I guess, some mode 6 quote unquote type data at the bottom test data to let you know when they tested this, what was these current throttle opening, engine idle rev, and coolant temperature, for example. I thought it was pretty cool. This one right here does not have an airflow sensor test. So for example, if I do airflow sensor test, it'll say the SARD ECU doesn't provide any data related to the sensor, for example. We go back. So it may or may not work with your car. And fuel correction control system test. I haven't tried this one yet, so let's try this one. This is the first time I've done this, so we'll try this together. All right. Okay, so it's working. Again, I love the cool animations and pictures. I gotta say, visually appealing really means a lot in an app these days. So yeah, let's see what we got here. Test now. The fuel correction system control is working normally. The mixture richness is good. So basically, it's just kind of letting you know what basically looks like short-term and long-term trim. I'm assuming if you had a V engine, like a V6, it would have one for each bank. Well, it's still pretty cool. All right, so we already done the smog check. Okay, you can also do performance data. We'll go back to the other. You can do 0 to 60, I believe, and see how that goes. So 0 to whatever you want, and click start accelerate to begin the test. I thought that's pretty cool. My other scan tool loader, they got a 0 to 60 performance test on it as well. This doesn't say 0 to 60, but I'm assuming that's what it is. It says performance test. Let's click this little thing here and see what happens. Okay, no data. So you can, that's your records over there. All right, so battery test. I have not done this one yet. So it gives you a little spiel on this here, and this hit start testing. Confirm that the light's off. Well, my light's on. Let me see. I cut them off real quick. AC is, let's go to climate, and we can cut this off. Let's just turn everything. Yeah, it's off. All right, hit next. I think we had to cut it. Please turn off the engine. Let's turn it off. Okay, we turned off the engine. Let me open and shut the door, maybe. Think it to go to sleep here. Please turn on engine. So it's probably doing a cranking test right now is what I'm thinking. Okay, data analyzing. All right, nice. So again, this thing also has a battery analyzer feature built into it. I'm not sure if the Blue Driver or the OBDII Link MX has this, but anyway. Your battery condition is good. It's basically just tell you the voltage when starting. And so it looked like it's taking 3 volts to push the starter, and then after you start, you're having the typical 14 volts that you should have. So this is just a quick, probably a quick and dirty battery check. I'm assuming it wouldn't tell you if a cell in your battery is dead, like some battery or a good battery tester could tell you. But still, it is something that can get you, probably point you in the right direction if you're having issues. So, again, this here again is a $25 scan tool as it stands with a 30% coupon off right now. I got a link in the description if you want to help the channel out with the affiliate, and you also can get 30% off. This is well worth $25. I'm just going to leave it plugged into my car. I'm gonna put it in my other car and just leave it in my car for a week and just drive around with it and just see what can I learn, or can I analyze any sort of bad driving habits, and also had the benefit of having an OBDII 2 scanner if I need that.